think we lost audio.
Hey, we are the monkeys.
This is much better.
Oh no!
Yes,
it's Dan riffing on a guitar for a minute.
Yeah, pretty much apparently.
We'll give your favorite guitar riff.
And now here's your host for Hollywood Squares, Tom Bergeron. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, how long is this?
Oh,
It's a
You
minute.
made the song.
Who are these people? Why does this guy's hair keep changing color?
And now
And
your
length.
70 Geeks with Jason
Monopoly.
and Mr. Dan, featuring Mike McGee.
look at those baby faces. Man, that's going back a couple of years.
I dug
Yeah.
through like, most of our videos.
Jeez,
okay.
nice job. Nice job. I can't wait to hear it.
Oh, shit.
It looks
Yeah,
awesome.
live play it.
Just
Would
saying.
it be a Three
Yeah.
Geeks podcast if we didn't have technical difficulties?
This is true,
The
but
first of the year,
I
especially.
I think we should just cut when we were making our own riffs and just make that the.
Yeah, you'll hear it next week. It wouldn't allow me to upload it the normal
Because we can definitely do that.
file. But hello, everybody. Welcome to another fabulous Three Geeks podcast.
Happy
We
New
are
Year.
here. Some of us are alive.
Indeed.
Some of us are dying, but we're here and we're ready to enjoy this podcast with all of you. I am here as long as my
Except for
throat
Max,
will
he's
allow.
leaving.
But
He's leaving.
Yeah, see ya.
I was not going to allow this episode to go by and not talk about Cobra Kai and Spider-Man, so I'm here for sure for those two discussions, and we'll see how much further I can go. But I'm surprised Scott's not here because I know he wanted to join us for Cobra Kai. But Dan, you watched it. What'd you think?
Did. I really liked it.
I did too.
Um,
I'm glad we finally got some character progression because as much
Yeah.
as I've loved the last season, there was a lot of spinning tires with the Johnny and Daniel relationship, and we finally
That's
got.
true. Although, I mean, a lot of that was really, really happily comedic, and I was cool with it.
Anytime Johnny does anything with technology, like hash brown, hash brown instead of hashtag, and internet stuff, man, he cracks me up every.
I like
every
the whole laptop side quest going on there. Like,
Side quest.
like he can't get it to work, and then he's like, how does this work? And it was just fun. He goes to the pawn shop guy, and the pawn shop dude is just like, what the hell's wrong with you, man?
Did you plug it in to charge it? What's that mean? What does that mean?
Did you turn it off and turn it back on again? Huh?
No,
Yes.
Season 4 brings in Terry Silver from Karate Kid 3, and this show references how bad Karate Kid 3 was, because he even says, he's like, man, I was coked out of my ass. How ridiculous were we? Like fighting a 17-year-old boy. Like, I don't want to repeat all of that. We were crazy back then, like all the cocaine and stuff. I just love how they referenced how cheesy it was within the show.
I do like that Terry is just as evil and backstabbing as he is in that. It's great.
Doesn't he just go back to terrorizing teenagers
Yeah,
again?
yes, and everybody else. So
yes, it's a good show. Good character development. Martin Cove, fantastic job from Martin Cove and William Zabka. William Zabka is the underdog of this series. Like, the man is the series. Without him, this show isn't as good. I mean, everybody in it's fine. They're all great, but William Zabka is really the standout. And then Martin Cove, honorable mention. And Terry Silver, man, I mean, that was awesome. I liked his character a lot.
I like his like wobbly leg stance too. It's kind of fun.
I like how he became like a yoga type guy.
Yeah,
And then he gets dragged back in.
He's just like, screw this.
But next season we might see Hilary Swank. They asked the creators about it. They're like, she's part of the Miyagi verse, so she's there. I'm not going to tell you if we've worked together already, if we're going to work together, or if she's been written into the show. But we'll find out.
Part of Miyagi verse. I like that. That's a verse.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Can we bring in? Can we get Clint Eastwood too from?
Dude, watching these guys talk about Cobra Kai is like watching Jon Favreau talk about Star
Are
Wars.
you saying $1 Million Baby's just a continuation from the next Karate Kid?
Yes,
I
That's
am.
the same character. That's in that case, Hilary Swank ain't coming back. Yeah, we had a
No,
fun
$1
time.
Million Baby is even farther in the future.
Yeah. Didn't you,
We're gonna
you remember
Fast
Clint's
and
like
Furious
cybernetic
the
arms and
timeline.
stuff? I mean, come on.
It is
Makushla,
it's the same
Cyborg
thing as-
Makushla.
It's the same thing as Han from Fast and the Furious. Like he's older, but he's younger. You know, it's fine. Like no one.
Don't look too hard into it.
Yeah, don't think too hard, or you might hurt yourself. I'm excited for when they get Jackie Chan in there. Like that's what I want to see. Like make that work, okay? Please.
The Smith universe, please.
I mean, technically it's possible because Will Smith is an executive producer, but I doubt it's going to happen.
Oh,
I don't want Jaden Smith though.
Oh, no.
That's the problem. You're going to get Jaden Smith as Jackie Chan.
Smith was playing long game. He's like, I'll executive produce this show for a while if I can work my son into it later.
Of course.
It's the long time.
That fine print will kill you from Smiths.
Oh my god.
It's a lot of fun. It's like when you go to the store and you get your favorite snack and you start eating it and then the box is gone. You're like, what the hell? Like, I can't believe I just did that.
Get a whole sleeve of Oreo. You're just like, oh my god.
And the show's the same way. Like you start episode 1 and then it's over and you're like, did I really just watch that many episodes in a row? Like I can't believe it, but it goes by so fast. It's a quick binge.
Yeah, like I got up that Saturday morning when it got released on Friday, and I got up early for some reason, and I was like, what the hell? We'll just start this, and I just sat there and watched it all.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna watch an episode a day. That way I can savor it. And I watched one episode before I went to bed. I woke up the next morning and I started the second episode, and then I finished it.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing Dan like 3 pizzas later, like he didn't even realize
in a coma.
Not at all. I just sat there and I watched the whole thing and made myself breakfast. I came back and watched some more. It was fine.
What do you give it out of 5, Dan?
I give this one a 5 out of 5.
Sweet.
Oh.
I'm going 4.5 out of 5. I'm trying to save my 5 out of 5s, but it's still really good because the next thing I might give a 5 out of 5 to, which is Spider-Man No Way Home, which we have not talked about on this show because we've been gone for over a month. Who has seen Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Not me.
It's another episode of Explain It to Dan.
Yay! I love it when this happens.
One of the things that come out of Spider-Man No Way Home, mild spoiler alert, and we'll get into the review in a second, is the possibility at the Amazing Spider-Man 3 or that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is going to be the Spider-Man and Venom and so forth in these expanded movies. I'm excited about that because I like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. How did we get to that conclusion that he was going to be the Amazing Spider-Man 3? That we were going to get that?
It's rumored. It's heavily rumored from veritable sources.
Oh, gotcha.
That's the whole point. Because I guess when Sony made Amazing Spider-Man 2, they went to Kevin Feige and said, Kevin, can you help us make the Amazing Spider-Man 3? And Kevin said, nope. How about you just let us do it? And they're like, no, we want to make the Amazing Spider-Man 3. We like Andrew Garfield. And he's like, just let us make the movie. We'll make the movie. It'll be fantastic. We'll make Spider-Man. We'll reboot it. It'll fit into the MCU. You can use our stuff. And then now we got to the point where we got, spoiler alert, all 3 Spider-Mans in one movie. Max, what were your thoughts on this film?
I thought it was all right. I definitely had a great time watching it. But like, it's one of those things where it's like, I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun as I was watching it. But then like, as I look back on some things, I'm like, well, like there's a little bit of this and that. But I did enjoy the Spider-Verse-ness of it when they had the 3 Spider-Men on there. I liked a lot of those scenes when they're geeking out about Tobey Maguire having organic spinnerets. That's hilarious.
Yeah, like, where does that come from? does it just come from your arms or does it come from other places? And he's like,
Like,
don't make fun of me. And they're like, we're not. We can't do that. So
Yeah, it's scientifically interesting. But so no, I thought all that was really good and very well done. I liked the dialogue. I did like the Andrew Garfield getting to save MJ, like that big deal. I thought that was really cool and very well acted. There's just like a few like plot things where I'm like, guys, like, you know, because Doctor Strange weaves this spell that it was like, and the whole universe is cracking apart, and Spider-Man's like, well, why don't we just do the spell again? Doctor Strange's like, that won't work, and he's like, but what if we do the spell again? And he's like, you're right.
So he's thinking that Peter means the spell where, you know, some people remember, and then he says, you know, well, just make them all forget.
I don't think like that's not what I got from it.
I'll clarify. It's a bit of a difference in the spell. I'll be a stickler on this part. The first spell is like everyone, because, you know, the last movie ended, everyone knows Peter's Spider-Man. The original spell was, I want everyone to forget that I am Spider-Man. New spell is, I want everyone to forget Peter Parker.
Peter Parker, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like, which brings up a whole bunch of questions too, because, you know, stuff like social security number and driver's license. Well, Peter doesn't need a driver's license.
His high school deal?
GED, yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like, I mean, I guess there's potential to explore elsewhere.
My favorite part of this movie, well, one of many favorite parts, is William Dafoe. Like, William Dafoe was so good in this movie.
Willem Dafoe's good too.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I can't think of the other actor's name. The guy who plays Doc Ock, like the
Alfred Molina.
All the villains. Even Jamie Foxx was better.
Throw me the idol.
Around.
Throw me the idol.
Well, yeah, that's because they had better writers. Like Sony sucks. and I mean, he like Marvel is even just like, look, we'll even take all your characters and we'll do them better than you. Like it's not even a thing. Like Sony just sucks.
Does he still have the crappy Power Rangers mask?
No.
Oh,
for like 30 seconds.
Okay, that's cool.
There's a nice wink to the fans when he smashes it.
Yeah. And it's good because then he's the Green Goblin and he's scarier as
I like that you put the spoiler alert after the spoiler.
I know.
His regular
He verbally said it. It's fine.
I keep accidentally clicking on it, but seeing them all three together, and like Max said, the interaction between Toby, Andrew, and Tom was amazing. Like their chemistry was awesome, and I like it when they keep telling Andrew, because he's kind of like the depressed one out of the three, and they're like, "Dude, you're amazing. No, you're amazing. Like you really are just amazing."
Well, I mean, just call out to how much people dumped on his two movies, right?
Yeah,
like, just tore him a new rear end.
I don't know. Most people like the first one.
That definitely was. I thought the first one was solid. Yeah. He's definitely the highlight of this movie for me. When I saw it, was like it just reminded me how much I love Andrew Garfield in general. Like I watched the Social Network again.
Sorry,
the Social Network, Tick Tick Boom. He's getting a lot of buzz about getting nominated for that. I think.
Mike, how is that? I really want to watch it because Rent's one of my favorites.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I've seen the trailer and the singing is okay. I'm not a fan of the idea of Tick Tick Boom just because it's from the guy who did Rent, and I'm just kind of like meh. But
so he's like sucking his own dick.
Is it an actual like sequel to Rent?
What?
Is it an actual sequel to Rent?
No, it's about the guy who made Rent.
Yeah, it's the guy who made Rent making a fucking musical about the guy who made Rent. And it's like, hey, look how awesome I am.
I mean, I'll take it over. I'll take it over whatever Dear Evan Hansen was with the 40-year-old playing a teen.
I'm unable to pay.
That took me back to the rainy days of Spider-Man.
Yeah, you mean Tobey Maguire playing Spider-Man? But like, I was fine with it this time because he was supposed to be 400 years old. So that's totally fine.
But yeah. No, like I thought, I'm with Max kind of on this. I thought No Way Home was fine. It's entertaining. It takes a lot to wow me. I definitely gotta say, like, between this and Spider-Verse has a lot more heart than this one, I felt.
Yes.
And so I connect with that one a little bit more than I do No Way Home. And also there's a lot of bigger creative decisions with Spider-Verse inherently because it's animated. So you get to dabble with some different styles right off the bat. I'm excited for Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
But No Way Home was fun. It's fine.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
I was hoping that we would be in the universe where nobody says with great power comes great responsibility. But unfortunately, they had to cram it in there.
That was the build up to it, Max. That's his come to Jesus moment.
Oh,
Aunt May
sorry,
was Uncle Ben the whole
Jason,
time.
you got to throw up the spoiler thing alert. They say with great power comes great responsibility in this one, thus ruining the entire Tom Holland Spider-Man series.
I was waiting for Pesci Uncle Ben. I was kind of disappointed there was no Pesci Uncle
That
Ben.
would have been great.
Cool.
Because
you know,
Marvel people would have been like, hey, remember when Marissa Tomei and Joe Pesci were a thing and My Cousin Vinny?
Yeah.
Why not make him Uncle Ben? Fans will
would've
love
been so
that
good.
because we love pleasing the fans first and foremost, and then telling a story. So
I would have really dug Joe Pesci Uncle Ben as long as he was like the gangster Joe Pesci. Like if he was like smashing some dude's head in a vice and like telling Peter with great power.
Charlie
Uncle Ben works for the
as he's
Kingpin.
like beating some dude in the trunk of a car with a baseball bat. Like,
yes, you got your head in a vice for that fuck.
Oh God,
Uncle Ben working for the Kingpin.
I was just watching
Yes.
Casino last night too. Like I was just splayed on my couch. I'm just like, man, this movie's long, but man, Joe
Yeah.
Pesci helps me not feel the length of the movie.
that's like Heat for me with
Yeah, Heat is a
Gina.
watch. That's,
Yeah. but it's so good.
It's great. It's great. It's worth it. But yeah, no, I feel you on that. You know, it's like or even like Batman: The Long Halloween. Like it just feels long.
Yeah.
The
Like-
long. I mean, it's in the title.
Right. No, they weren't kidding. They weren't kidding.
Speaking of length, I will say No Way Home clips along pretty well.
Yeah.
Like at no point does it feel like things really grind to a halt too much. Like it's constantly moving. So
I like where the movie sets up Spider-Man's future. I like how we've got the Spider-Man we more so know from the comic books, like in an apartment.
I am not a fan of that costume.
The new one.
Yeah.
the traditional
The
one.
shiny like satin.
I was not digging that at all. I mean, I don't like the Tony Stark verse like costume that they had him in, but the change I'm not a fan of either.
That was basically the Civil War costume, right? Because he got that for the Civil War version of it, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember.
No,
Well, he
that
got
was okay,
yeah.
go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, he got upgrade. There was a time in the comics he, MJ, and Aunt May moved into Avengers Tower, and he became like Tony Stark's junior apprentice type of thing, and so he made him a whole bunch of stuff. And yeah, that was around the Civil War time. And then he got kicked out of the tower when he was like, Cap's right.
Mhm.
It was funny both times I went. Daredevil, Matt Murdock shows up, and the entire audience went, or half the crowd goes, yes, and the other half of the crowd is like the girlfriends or boyfriends going, who's that?
Who's that? that happened to me because my sister has not watched Daredevil, so we always go to each new Marvel movie together. So like I've got like my friends and family on one side, like, oh, awesome, like and then when he catches that brick, like great scene with Matt Murdock, loved it, definitely loved to get him in the Marvel universe. But then like my sister's like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, what is going on?
How upset and rowdy would the crowd have been if it turned out the big reveal was it's Ben Affleck as Matt Murdock?
That would be so
God.
funny. Oh my god.
I would have laughed my ass off.
God.
Funny.
You
I
just,
would
and then
not
you see the
John
camera
Favreau
pan
there
up.
being like, I know you.
That would have been funny because John Favreau's Happy Hogan.
Exactly.
And
Yeah. He was
Yeah,
foggy
yeah.
in the other one.
That would've been
He
great.
doesn't even have any kind of lines or anything. The camera
He's
just
just there.
pans up to him like crying next to a cross
Yeah.
But-
in the rain.
But
Electra's patting him on the back.
he needs
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the hell he needs whatever the hell his haircut was, his hairstyle was in the last duel. Like
Yeah, okay. There
bring
you go.
Ben Affleck from the last duel in as Ben Affleck's Matt Murdock, but with the same hair. You frosted your hair again.
Oh,
Yeah, I frosted
The
my hair
frosted tips in the
Yeah.
medieval times.
Gotta love those frosted tips.
I give Spider-Man 4.5. It's everything I like about going to see big budget movies on the big screen. I had fun, got through the popcorn. I got to see my kids' enjoyment in the experience, and all in. I can't wait to see where Tom Holland's Spider-Man goes, and I really hope it means things for Tobey Maguire and amazing and Andrew Garfield down the line because I like those guys.
It doesn't have to mean things for Tobey Maguire.
He's rich. He's okay.
Max is like
the dude plays poker. He's okay.
Yeah, I think he can be very happy just making random cameos for the rest of his life. And
yeah,
I can't wait to see the continuation in Doctor Strange.
I like what I didn't like was they're like, oh, there's 2 post-credit scenes in Spider-Man, and then the second post-credit scene is just the trailer for Doctor Strange.
Well, I mean,
it's not like
I was a little bummed out about that too.
That's funny.
They did that with First Avenger. It was a regular post-credit, or not even a regular post-credit thing. It was like right before the credits, and then the actual post-credit thing was the Avengers teaser. So it's it's not unheard of. You all have just been primed for post-credit stuff. That's all.
Fair. They did it because they couldn't advertise Doctor Strange before that moment. But I like how Marvel handled the advertisement for this movie. Like, I mean, most of the trailers were the exact same things, just cut different ways. And I mean, they tried with editing Toby and Andrew out of that one fight scene where you can see the 2 guys charging at air. But I mean, that's a little too much. Maybe just don't put that scene in next time, Marvel. I know what you were doing. I know Sony wanted you to show more of Andrew and Toby, but
the marketing took care of itself, because if you ever went online at any point, like, there was leaks galore, and the audience was the marketing machine for this too. So it's like, good. That was actually a pretty good strategy, honestly. It's like, let's leak something, let them foam at the mouth over it for a while, and they'll build themselves up.
We could talk about Hawkeye in a minute too, because this kind of leads into that with
more Daredevil stuff.
It's a 4 out of 5. Max?
I give it a 4, like a low 4, if that makes any sense. Like not
4.3.
Like, you know, like more like a 3.8 to a 4.1, like in that range. It's again, like, it's so fun to watch. You have a lot of fun watching it, but then, like, when you look back on it, it's like, well, Aunt May, like, they made Aunt May a different character in this one, I thought, than she was in the other ones. And,
it's the most character she's gotten in these movies.
That's also true, but, like, it's I don't know. And then I hate, with great power comes great responsibility. I fucking can't stand that. Like, I was just really hoping that this would be like the one universe where they don't say it. Like, that would be cool, right? Like, we could be the one universe. Anyway,
Max, you know what? I gotta admit, you know, when Aunt May said it, it didn't bother me. But when they're on the top of the building and Tom Holland goes, with great power, and then Tobey Maguire looks at Andrew Garfield and they're like, comes great responsibility. I'm like, ugh. I rolling my eyes.
That's it's a comic book movie. It's like, what do you want? It's like, and that's right in line with, like, Raimi style Spider-Man too. That's the corny kind of stuff that would happen in the Raimi versus completing each other's sentences like that.
Yeah.
So.
And Raimi's the director of Doctor Strange, so we'll see what happens.
He's gonna make a Marvel movie. Is what's gonna happen.
Is my ranking.
Yeah, I'd say 4.5. I mean, I liked it a lot. I like Spider-Verse whenever we can get it. I was a big fan of the 90s cartoon, right? Anytime we can add more Spider-Man into it, I'm a sucker for that type of stuff.
Spider-Man and Associates.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Madam Web is coming.
Klaus, what was it? Yakov Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yakov Spider-Man.
Oh man, that does remind me. Have you guys? I saw it on a Facebook post. I don't know if it was from one of you guys or not, but there's a dude that goes to cons and just plays Uncle Ben, and like lays at the feet of every Spider-Man.
Aren't there like a Thomas and Martha? There's a Thomas and Martha Wayne duo that does that too.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, they have like chalk outlines that you lay out on the.
That's awesome.
And roses and pearls.
Yo, oh, that's wonderful. Kudos to anyone who does that. That's the next level stuff.
That's as cool as hell. Mike, rating?
Oh,
instantly legitimize any Batman or Spider-Man doing that.
3.5 for me, which is still like, because like I said, I enjoyed it just fine. It didn't blow me away, and I couldn't get invested too much just because I do like Tom Holland as a performer. This particular iteration of Spidey, I get what they're going for. It's like, let's just pull out all the stops and have him play in the MCU for a while. Some of that works for me, some of it doesn't. This was just the continuation of stuff that kind of didn't work for me mostly, but I like the performances. I love seeing Toby and Andrew back. Andrew's the MVP in my opinion. And yeah, I am curious to see what they do if Sony keeps up the agreement to share them. That's the thing. They kind of set it up here at the end where they don't necessarily have to have Spider-Man come back to the MCU if Sony decides like we're going to take our toys elsewhere and see if Morbius has a chance of being good.
Yeah.
Oh that movie is going to fucking suck.
It got delayed again. This is the New Mutants.
Oh my god.
Well, it got delayed because of COVID, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what Morbius does.
Thank God there's a global pandemic. We don't have to put this fucking shit movie out.
But that's the thing is that this movie wraps things up where you could never see Tom Holland's Peter Parker in the MCU again. But it's a perfect like ending for that version of the character if that's the way they want to go with it. They probably won't because they like money, so they'll keep him in there.
Yeah, Sony president announced or said in an interview that they plan on doing 3 more movies with Marvel, and Kevin Feige shot her a look like, "Bitch, we haven't negotiated that yet."
Yeah.
You know what though? Like, kudos to Sony. Like, they keep on, like
they keep on reaching.
They realize that they suck. They realize that they suck, and they keep on like, oh, you know, like we're doing lots of things. You know, like you'll see this in Marvel movies, and Marvel's like, no. But then you end up seeing the shit happen.
Yeah.
So like Sony,
Sony's like sliding money under the table. Like, listen, you're gonna put this in there. You just don't know it yet.
There's another email breach.
Like once the fans get a hold of it and start clamoring for whatever, like Marvel's gonna do it. So like,
oh man.
You know,
Dan, you took me back. Remember the good old days of email breaches?
Yeah.
One of the things
That's hilarious.
Let me finish my statement before Max yells at me. One of the things I really liked.
What the fuck?
One of the things I really liked about No Way Home was the first post-credit scene with Venom, because as somebody who enjoyed and finds the movies like super hilarious, and they're not great, but whatever. But somebody who, you know, the fans were so excited that Venom was going to be in this because of the post-credit scene at the end of Venom 2. He shows up for like 1 minute at the end in the post-credit scene just to leave a little bit of the symbiote behind and then leaves. Yeah. I wanted a post-credit scene where we see that 70s show kid. I can't think of his name. We see him.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and then Tom Hardy's Venom is like, makes some kind of smart-ass comment and then eats him. That would have been really funny. But I'm okay with how they used Venom in the Spider-Man No Way Home. I thought that was fantastic trolling.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that makes me think that they're going to actually make a Marvel... Another, you're going to see Spider-Man again, is because...
The black suit.
That
black suit
actually
is going to hitchhike from the island resort.
Yeah.
It's going to thumb its way up to New York City.
Yep. I mean, it's whatever, but like they did kind of leave the door open for that next Spider-Man movie. So I would love to see a Marvel Venom to see if they do it right. I mean, like I loved Michael Keaton as the Vulture. I think they can do good villains. So you know, we'll see how it goes. But
we'll see, because Michael Keaton is also in Morbius as Vulture.
As Vulture.
But you don't know how long. Like it could be the same shit where it's like a post-credit scene where he's in it for a fucking 30 seconds, and it's like, oh, okay, well, we showed you the entirety of what he's doing, and making you think that there's like something else to it.
It's he shows up.
It's going to set up Morbius too.
I want to tell you about the Sinister Six team we have, initiative.
He's the Nick Fury of the Sinister Six.
Yes.
All right, let's transition to Hawkeye. Hawkeye came out of nowhere. I didn't think I'd like it. I thought it was going to be cheesy, kind of.
And it was.
I didn't know I needed an Avengers musical. Like, I want to see an Avengers musical.
No, that musical sucks balls. Like, if they made an Avengers musical and it was that, I'm not down. I don't want to see that.
It's cute. It was, frankly, it might be a little weak for some of us, but I'm honestly like, that's what they'd make. Like, yeah, they did. It's called Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have to watch that.
People got concussions.
I dug Hawkeye. I liked a lot of the things that got going because they pulled from my favorite Hawkeye book, the Matt Fraction Hawkeye comics. So like there's a lot of elements from that, and I really really dug that comic. So I was happy with this one. I liked Haley
Steinfeld.
Steinfeld. Really dug her. I like her as an actress, so it was good to see her, and I thought she did a really good job as Hawkeye. And the thing I didn't like most about the show was Kingpin.
Huh.
Yeah,
he went from this like super elegant dude, like the Kingpin was very classy, and they made him like thuggish and not like.
Well, according to
jail.
D'Onofrio said, remember, this is like 5 or 6 years after the events of Daredevil.
Yeah, so he's like trying to rebuild up. My main issue was just like this dialogue feels weird. Like I remember Daredevil's writing for Kingpin being a lot slicker, and this is a Disney Plus show, so I'm not expecting stellar lines from it all the time. But like, I don't know, something about I like seeing him in the role again. It's fun.
Yes.
Like he's a great performer for it. But something about his dialogue in this particular show, I'm just like. Yeah. Okay.
Well, he was in one episode. We'll see what they do with him going forward. The one thing I could have done without, and I loved Florence Pugh in this show. I think she was fantastic. Just drop the Russian accent, guys. Like, you guys can't do it. Marvel actors just don't pull it off very well. And you guys did it with Scarlet Witch. You guys let her drop the Russian accent.
Her accent is more convincing than Scarlet Witch's.
I was not offended by the faux Russian accent.
One thing I thought the show did really well was really good at scaling back, because I think Max told me this. It felt more like the Netflix shows, and as far as the aspect and the tone of the show. But I'm surprised at how much I liked Hawkeye. I think it's my favorite out of the Marvel shows last year.
It is Marvel, the only Marvel Christmas. So that's probably why you like it even more.
Wasn't there supposed to be a Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special or something?
Yeah, next year.
Next year. Okay, I thought it was supposed to be this year.
I'm glad we're back to a year's worth of Marvel material and not the 2 years worth that we got last year.
Just like back to back.
Yeah.
Let it breathe.
I didn't feel too overwhelmed by it, like the amount of material. I mean, because like Eternals sucked balls, and I'm like Shang-Chi was refreshing.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Sorry for being American. Okay, I apologize.
Okay, Mom.
Jesus.
Sorry. I hear that all the time. Shang-Chi. I'm like, Jesus.
Shang-Chi.
They are Disney is releasing the extended cut of Eternals.
I don't.
Of course,
I don't care.
Honestly, it's a movie I want to see because there's a lot of holes in that film. But I'm curious to see.
I guarantee you, they're only extending it to add more holes.
See, I didn't feel like there was too much Marvel stuff because I didn't watch most of it.
Most of it.
I watched Shang-Chi. It was
okay, all right.
After everybody else did, but I watched it. It was okay.
Be a fun challenge sofa.
But like I don't know. I could deal with this as a schedule because, like, I don't know. I feel after the close of Endgame, I just I'm kind of half checked out of Marvel because, like, I just don't think it's like they're not following their own thing anymore. Where it's like take time to go ahead.
I heard with all the multiverse type stuff setting up, I heard like a rumor that Secret War is going to be like one of the they're going to lift from the 2015 Secret Wars where everything's like battle world and you got these different versions of characters running around. Rumor. I don't know for sure if that's what they plan to do, but I guess if you're going to try to top Infinity,
it seems like a weird rabbit hole to go down for a movie theater.
Like I like some of that, but I don't see how it would work cinematically.
Yeah. It worked for No Way Home, like because you expected it to be very fan servicey and you like those versions of the characters, but like you really want to see, like they're gonna try it with Flash first. Obviously, the Flash movie is just gonna be that, and we'll see how well that goes over with people. Even though they got Michael Keaton there for that, but
I'm indifferent on the Flash because I don't feel like Michael Keaton would do it just to do it. So that's like the one thing that gives me some hope with the Flash movie. But other than that,
I heard Ben Affleck really felt like it was a good send off for his version of Batman. Was this movie? So
they're kicking him out and adding Keaton to the new DCEU apparently because Keaton is going to be in Batgirl as the older Bruce Wayne.
And that's a third side from Max.
Okay, awesome! I'm so excited
I think they're going to use Batgirl. I think they're going to use Batgirl to do the
Hooray.
more Batman Beyond storyline.
But I don't want to
Oh.
see. I don't want to see a Secret Wars without Doctor Doom. So
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the Fantastic Four is on its way. Like, I feel Fantastic Four will be their big.
And
Yeah.
and
Just-
actual Doctor Doom, not
Yeah, we need to
whatever
nail
we
that,
got
'cause
the
he's a
last
really
couple
good villain.
times.
right,
Yeah.
right, any of the previous attempts, and then again,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want.
You
I
don't like
also
the
don't want Sony to worm their way into this shit and fucking be like, "Oh, look, we have a Fantastic Four.
No,
we
no,
have
no,
a
they
Dr.
only
Doom."
got-
Yeah.
They only can handle Spider-Man stuff.
Directed by
Can't
Roger
touch it.
Corman's
I-
son or something.
Shit, yeah. I'd be all for
Two
that.
things on Ant-Man and the Quantum Mania. One is Bill Murray's going to be the villain of that movie, and I'm so excited about that.
Huh.
And number two, I think I said this on the podcast. Like,
Wait a minute, wasn't the villain supposed to be what's his name? Kang, the guy from Howard the
Yeah,
Duck? That
okay?
remake.
That's Bill Murray is
Yeah.
one of the villains. Like he's in it as a bad guy.
Oh,
from
okay.
what I've read.
John
But
Lithgow?
I've said this on this cast before. I think the Fantastic Four already existed, and they're in that the quantum world, and then we're going to see them come back out of it in Ant-Man 3. I think that's when they're going to get introduced.
But I think, yeah.
Regardless,
Do they have dinosaurs?
I'm holding. Like I'm gonna stand by my previous statement. I do not want to see a Secret Wars without a Doctor Doom,
They
and
won't.
the Doctor Doom they give me needs to be fucking Doctor Doom. Okay, like I need a real legitimate shot at Doctor
no,
Doom.
no, we're gonna give you
Give me
Trevor
Doom.
again. And then,
No.
then there's gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah,
somebody
Trevor-
just like,
Trevor's
I
gonna
love
be-
Trevor. Trevor is the best thing that
do-
ever happened all
Dan,
the time.
I do love Trevor, but they seem to learn from their mistakes. I don't think they're going to pull that on you guys
No, they
again.
did.
Well, Boba Fett's a good call out. So.
Shang-Chi with the weird rings and stuff. I don't know. It's just it works just like
With the
a
weird
Doctor
rings.
Strange's magic thing.
Yeah, no, I
quibbles.
really
It's
would
all
wish.
fake.
yeah,
Bro.
but I mean,
I'm just being.
isn't
I don't know.
everything? I mean,
No, I
I don't know how to eject out of this tangent. So
Yeah.
I'm just
I
like,
mean-
bullshit.
So
let's go back to talking about the rent guy again.
Yeah, rent.
Also fake. Okay.
No, we could transition. Hawkeye is 3.5 for me, max.
Probably like a 3. It is entertaining. I would say like it's not like devoid of anything good, but it's not great. I don't think it's great. So like a 3 out of 5.
It's another fast binge though. Justin,
I haven't seen it yet. I'll watch it soon. But I'm
Well,
not,
spoilers.
nah, that's
Sorry.
fine. I think we've read the run of it in monthly poll, so I'm not super concerned about
nice,
spoilers.
which might be coming back soon. Saj the bot, say Saj, we missed you, buddy. He said, "Did you guys like Boba Fett?" Which is a perfect transition to our next topic, which is the
Boba Fett.
book of Boba Fett.
Baba.
And I'm going to say Max last. 'Cause I already know Max's opinion on this, so let's see if we can get a.
I mean, he
positive
sighed,
review
so.
first.
I'm gonna suck that side back in.
Let's go with Mike. Mike seems to be more on the positive side with me.
Yeah, I mean, the Star Wars stuff so far. I mean, we've only got like Mandalorian and those anime things, which I haven't seen yet. But like Mandalorian, I was lukewarm on. I'm kind of like, okay, this is kind of what I expected it to be. Nothing really wowed or thrilled me. Boba Fett, I am liking that it's taking its time a little bit, but I am appreciative of those slower moments more so than I was in something like Mandalorian. I do like the flashback stuff. I like sort of the building of his character after that, because there really wasn't much character to begin with that guy. And I think what's his name, Temuera Morrison, does a really good job with the material. You know, it's the first time that I'm kind of like, okay, I don't mind that they changed his audio for those special editions now. Because now that I know that there's an actual character under that mask, I kind of dig it. So it's fine.
Yeah,
And I also like this. It's like I like that the Tusken Raider kind of mythology is being expanded. So they're not just like faceless, mindless brutes. Like you get to know them a little bit. So
They're animals, and I slaughtered them like animals.
yeah, that kind of
Okay, Anakin.
makes him look like a bigger dick now, doesn't it?
All right, Dan, what about you?
Okay. When I watched the first episode, I got to say I wasn't loving it. Okay. There's a bald guy in his PJs just walking around.
He's in a tank a
like,
lot.
like he's tough shit. But what's that?
He's in a tank a lot. Tank baby.
Yeah, true. and that whole the fight with the whole plastic shield things and
Oh
and
my
stuff,
god, so fucking
that
lame.
was terrible. But then I go and I watch the second episode this morning, and I really like this one. I really do. I want a whole spin-off series of the Tucson Raiders here, and
Yeah, the
Yeah,
past
I know.
Boba Fett stuff is way stronger than what he's doing in the present. Than what he's
yeah.
doing with his...
Well, I kind of
But,
like the whole mayor thing. This time is cool. The Rancor thing was dumb, but the whole like mayor guy. It's like, if I were to do that, then he's slimy enough to be a good bad guy, and I like the big scary Wookiee.
Nice.
And it doesn't hurt that he's gotten out of his PJs in the flashbacks, and now he's wearing a cool cloak thing. So I went from meh to this is pretty cool so far.
I have only seen the first episode. I haven't seen the second one, but
Okay.
I thought it was. I enjoyed it. It's fine. I don't have high expectations for Star Wars like a lot of people do. I just enjoy whatever they show me, and if I'm entertained, I'm entertained. And I was entertained by the story because Boba Fett is, no offense, I'm on Max's team with this. He's been a lame character up until The Mandalorian. And I liked him on The Mandalorian, and I like him in this so far. So we'll see where it goes. It's hard really to judge a TV show based on the first couple episodes because it all depends on how it wraps up in the end. But so far the journey's fine. It's fun.
I mean, the character does get Vader to point at him and say no disintegrations. That's kind of fun. But yeah, the whole Sarlacc pit and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The big scary Wookiee is from the comic books and worked alongside Dr. Aphra.
Oh, okay, that's
Dr. Afro.
That's from the Marvel comics that they did.
I do like the Star Wars is rewarding the people that are reading their new expanded universe. And
I mean, their comic books were great when I read them. I haven't read a lot of them recently, but the Vader one was great. I really
It's
enjoyed
still pretty
the Vader
good.
one.
They're doing a good job to incorporate stuff without us needing to know what it was if we didn't read the comic books. So, but Max, tell us why we're all wrong.
Is he frozen or he's just too angry to respond?
I'm having some technical difficulties.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you guys? Am I coming through okay, or am I choppy?
You sound great. Yeah, you sound great.
Okay.
You're fine.
All right. Yeah. So it's sorry. My computer is lagging a little bit here. Boba Fett sucks. I'm still watching it. I'm still watching it. I'm hoping that it turns the corner. I wish they would have either done Boba Fett getting to the Mandalorian point the show, or Boba Fett after the Mandalorian the show. I don't like that they're trying to do both at the same time. Because I dig, like you're saying, I dig the Tusken Raider stuff, and I dig some of the stuff that they got going on in the New World. I just don't like the trying to do it at the same time.
Isn't that kind of the same setup as Arrow? Arrow has the same kind of thing.
Yes.
You got to get back to the island.
Go back to the island.
Just like Lost.
Run into John Locke.
So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Boba Fett show right now. I don't like that they had this dude, Tatooine's got two suns. Now, if you walk through the desert in your pajamas on Earth, if you go through the Sahara Desert, try it. See how long you last. It's not very long. You can't go to a planet with two suns and walk around in your pajamas with no shoes
and not wear a hat
and live.
I mean, moisture farmers walk around in their pajamas, basically.
Yeah,
in their
yeah,
bathrobes,
but they live on a moisture farm. They live in literally the only place that has moisture.
He had one of the water sack things, and
get the fuck out of here. Okay, I'm not buying it.
Is it? Well, I'm curious. Is there any research done with multiple suns in that solar system cause you to have a hotter planet? It sounds like it would, but if your atmosphere is thicker,
I'm sure.
I mean, maybe they're further away from their suns than
or their atmosphere is way stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have a
regardless,
use
it's a
hairspray?
desert planet. Like most of the planet is desert.
They don't use CFCs because they just wander around in their pajamas.
Tatooine is Dune. The
Yeah,
spice.
I mean, like, like that's what I'm saying. But in
you
Dune, their suits are made specifically to survive the desert.
And they've got more moons
If you
than
don't
suns.
wear one, you die. They
Yeah.
say that multiple times.
But Max, he's a clone,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so he's able to live.
Oh,
His
yeah.
feet are
Well,
basically
I don't know what the logic is, but
made of hard leather.
I'm just like, that's easy shit. You know what I'm saying? And especially like he's hanging out with these Tusken Raiders, and they don't give him any Tusken garb
No.
to survive the fucking desert.
Well,
I'm
you
like,
don't know. Maybe
what the fuck are you doing?
maybe he was able to stave off a lot from that sweet Sarlacc juice. You never know. That stuff hydrates the hell
Oh
out of you.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the preservative Sarlacc juice.
He was
that
probably
lets you
milking
live
those
1,000 years.
interior Sarlacc teats.
Man, that's a
I
sentence
mean-
I did not want to hear today.
I just don't know how I don't
Go ahead,
know how they're gonna transition him into Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. That's what I want to know.
Oh, that would be so fun.
So yeah, it's. I'm watching Boba Fett, but then like I'm just like, this is adding more shit to your bullshit Boba Fett argument. Like this is like that's all I wanted. It's like, oh, Boba Fett's so cool. It's like, no, he's actually not.
I'm on the side with
he's-
you here a little bit, Max, is the idea of like, I want him to focus on one story. Like the crime story is the weaker of the plots, I feel, just because it's taking forever for that to kind of pick up. But I do love the growth and development they're doing with him with regards to the Tuskens. But yeah, it's like I do kind of wish they'd pick up or focus on one more than the other. But who knows? They might still do that. They might do that.
The new comment, right? Okay. He
Got
got new clothes in the second episode. Yes, Saj, he did get new clothes in the second episode, but that episode was weeks of time
Yes.
that had gone by. Okay,
He's-
no sunburn
wearing
on his
the
head.
same clothes.
I mean, they're taking care of him. Clearly, they gave him those egg sack thing, those water sack
He
things.
gave him some
Oh
egg
my
sacks
God.
and hit him in the face.
They gave him a lizard
It's
up
like-
his.
that's
They made him
just- that's
sniff a
just-
lizard.
Yeah.
Shitty writing, and I'm
You
like,
just see
come
Boba
on,
Fett
guys.
high stepping across the desert. Like,
Yeah.
No, it's
I kind of wanted to see
there's
more of
no
that. He
fucking-
has a fun ride with a Sasquatch and
Yeah.
who's his dad. And
I did kind of like that spirit journey
Nah.
thing he did. It's like the one tree in the
The
desert.
spirit journey thing was
Yeah.
cool. I'll agree with that. The spirit journey thing was cool, but again, like, it was at night. Okay, now I fully believe you can walk around in the desert at night
But was
because
it?
it's not blazing hot.
well, no, it's super cold. That's the
Well,
problem
his-
with the desert.
He was basically tripping. So maybe it wasn't at night. Maybe it was in the middle of like high noon. But he just felt like it was night.
Maybe the lizard just gave him a day for night filter. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He's wandering through pod
No,
people in the desert.
yeah.
I'm
That's
not,
all.
I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. This is why I love Dune so much. Because I'm like, they, in one story, like they checked all the boxes. It's like, oh, all the little things that you're like, well, how do they live in the desert? Well, they have suits that reclaim like 98% of their moisture, so they never lose it. Like, how do they do this? Oh, they walk a different way so they can travel the desert. They fucking do different things. Like all of it's explained, and it's totally fine. Like no one.
Yeah.
No one
But-
gave a shit
But
that they
Tatooine
bothered
doesn't have
to make sense of
giant worms
anything.
that come after you if you walk weird.
You just reminded me of a fun tweet I saw a while back where it was like, what was it? You step like this and you won't attract the worm. And someone's like, Christopher Walken dancing across the desert. To Bad Boy Slim. That's what the lyric. I just realized, like, holy shit, that's what the lyrics from.
Yeah.
Walking like this and don't attract the worm.
Nice.
Yes. Okay. So like that all works. It's easy to do that, and you just chose not to. That's my problem. You just chose not to.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I got.
And
Boba
you
Fett's
got
up.
the other
Not
side,
do the
though.
story
I
beats
mean,
that Max wants.
the
Goddamn.
Tusken Raiders.
It's not that. It's not that. I'm looking at the story that you provide,
You know I like
and
to
and
needle
it's
you.
full of fucking holes.
You know I like to needle.
Yeah, like we're perfectly fine with space wizards with laser swords flying around on faster than light ships and stuff. But you get to a planet,
But
and there's
hydrate.
problems.
Hey,
Yeah.
hydration's important.
Water's
Hydrate
important.
and no
Water's
sunburn
important.
on your giant bald head, pajama dad.
Pajama dad.
I mean,
Because like you make the point to put the Tusken Raiders in a special garb that makes them survive the desert, and then
But does it
don't,
really? I mean,
like-
they got layers and layers. It's like it's winter to them.
yeah,
whatever
honestly.
it is, whatever it is that they got fucking going on, they need that shit. Like it's not just.
What do they look like under that? Is it like a Dalek, or they just like a weird?
Are you wondering-
stretched out piece of skin? Like,
Ooh,
Oh
I
my
wonder
God.
if that's something they're gonna do. I wonder if they're finally gonna reveal what's under the Tusken Raider like mask, like
It's
If it's just
terrifying,
regular-
right? If they
And it's Luke.
if they're regular people or if it's just something. Or like someone else posted like, what do Jawas look like? And I'm like, Mothman. They all look like
Mhm.
Mothman under their robes.
that sounds cool. like Richard
No,
Gere's Mothman?
they're all Mel
Yes.
Brooks under there.
like
Oh, Mel
Richard
Brooks.
Gere's Mothman.
Talking about Schwartz's
Yes.
from Locke. Okay, cool.
Cool.
All right, everybody. We will be back in just a few moments with Jesse Camacho from the Netflix series Locke Key. Can't wait to talk to him. They need to put him on that show a lot more because dude is really funny. We've talked to him before. And stay tuned, guys. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Talk commercial, take 5. Hey, Jason, have you ever been accused of a crime?
I have not yet, John. But if I ever was, there's only one man I would call,
Boba
and that
Fett,
man
2 out
is
of 5.
Benjamin Matlock.
Just forgot to throw that out there.
You would be right to do that because he's a
I'll
guy that
balance
can
you out
certainly
with a
clear your
5.
name of any accusations that come your way.
You
Doesn't
know
matter,
what,
man. If
Max?
you're accused
I
of, say, I
enjoyed
don't
it.
know,
I'm not
murdering
too far
your
off from you.
ex-husband
I'm at
live
a
on your
3 out
TV
of 5.
cooking show, or using a pair of scissors to stab your business manager to death, or maybe you sneak into your landlord's office and off him overnight during the Christmas season, Matlock can get you taken care of. And you know what? He's also a dude that is the subject of a pretty cool podcast called Matt Talk, right, Jason?
Yeah, he is. And I'm so glad John just aired out all my dirty laundry. But it's great to know that when I stab my landlord or I, commit any crimes, I can call the one man. And that one man is Benjamin Matlock.
That's right. And you can check out our podcast called Matt Talk every second and
Wait,
fourth
I'm surprised
Monday
that
of
Justin's
the
got
month.
Burt
It's
Reynolds here
available
as his
on
away
all the
picture.
podcasting platforms, including Anchor.
Who's
Just
the
go
dude
to
who's in love with his dad locked in his
anchor.fm/Matt
basement?
Talk. And it's available through the Facebook page. Of course, that is at Matt Talk Podcast. And you could check out every single
You can thank
episode when they
Jason
drop.
for
And
that.
real soon, it'll be available every Saturday at noon through the Scene Snobs channel. Just look for the Scene Snobs, on Facebook or thescenesnobs.com. Jason, tell them about the email and the Twitter account, please.
You guys can email us anytime at benmattalk@gmail.com. That is benmattalk@gmail.com. One more time, benmattalk@gmail.com. Email me. Let us know what you think of this commercial. Let us know what you think of the episodes. We have some great interviews with Lori Lathine and
Linda Pearl and Scott Valentine and a ton of other great episodes. And by the way, check us out on Twitter. We're just got on Twitter at MattTalk_podcast. And so, ladies and gentlemen, check out an episode. And as they say in court, nothing further.
Hi, I'm Casper.
And I'm Becky Gremlin.
And we're the hosts of Don't Fuck With the Original.
We are a spoopy horror podcast that pretty much covers everything under the genre.
We cover haunted locations. We cover true crime, cryptids, movies, anything you can literally think of. We are all over it.
Everything spoopy.
On Wednesdays. And why?
Wednesdays are for podcast. Thanks, guys.
Hey everybody, it's John Orlando from the PVD Cast. Are you wondering where you can find my podcast? Well, it's real simple. Just go over to pvdcast.com, the online home of yours truly, or it's available through all of those major podcasting platforms. Just search for it in Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, iHeartRadio app. And don't forget that every single Monday night at 8 o'clock, I do a live broadcast of the week's episode of the PVDcast through the Facebook page. Just go over to facebook.com and search for @PVDcast and join me every Monday night at 8 p.m. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get on out of here. So I'll chat at each and every one of you later.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Scene Snob, McManhattan, and I'm here to tell you guys about thescenesnobs.com. We're a channel of variety, comedy, entertainment, geek-related, sports, the whole 9 yards. We cover almost every genre. And we have so many great shows to choose from. We have shows like the Scene Snobs Podcast, BTB Podcast, The Guapo Show, the Sports Snobs Podcast, the PVD Cast, Jeff Dwoskin presents Crossing the Streams, the Three Geeks Podcast, the Fandom Effect. We probably have the only Matlock-based podcast called Matt Talk, and we're introducing new shows all the time. We have new shows coming up like the Ear Hustling Podcast, Carpool Shenanigans, and of course, From Some Nobodies, Twitching Upstream, and Talking Upstream. So come on, check out thescenesnobs.com, enjoy it, and please leave feedback. Like, follow, subscribe us, and just let us know what you think. We love to have all the interaction.
Hello, citizens. I'm Burt Ward, Robin from the TV series Batman, and you're listening and watching the Three Geeks. And it is fantastic. Wowie zowie. Mobile.
That was an echo and a half.
I love that man so much.
Did it echo for anybody else? That was wild.
The Scene
Yeah,
Snobs.
it was echoing for me. I got a double wowie zowie.
Yeah. Burt Ward zowied a lot.
So, but we're back. Jesse Camacho will be joining us in just a few moments. I can't wait to talk to him again. I actually have confirmation from him, so we won't be sitting here twiddling our thumbs for 20 minutes like we do sometimes. But I can't wait to talk to him about season 2 of Locke Key and all the other fun stuff he has coming down the pipe. We have some fun stuff coming down the pike too. Officially launching in February is the Larry Hankin stories, and I just want to take a second to thank Justin Corleone here for all of his hard work, which we've decided that's Justin's stage last name. Justin Corleone. I want to thank him for all of his editing work, because Justin is he's something special when it comes to editing intros and stuff, and he did such a good job with the Hankin episode 1, and I can't wait for everybody else to see it.
Cool. Thank you. I wasn't expecting it, so appreciate it. Thank you.
And then Justin and I have also decided that in February we're going to extend our conversation interview shows, where we're going to record the interviews and then we're going to fill it for an hour. So if the interview is 40 minutes long, Justin and I are going to come on 20 minutes prior to that and just talk. Some will have to do with the guests. Some will be just normal conversation, because there's only 2 hours is just so much time. I watch a lot of TV, and Justin reads a lot of comic books. So we figured it'd be a good excuse to talk about those things and make the show last a whole hour. So I'm looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. And I have COVID. I've been spending my quarantine watching 13 Reasons Why, and I'm depressed.
Yeah,
I bet it's a very depressing show.
Fucking
Yeah.
All right. Since we're
very sad.
on the topic of depressing shit, Betty White's dead and Sidney Poitier is dead.
We definitely should talk about that.
I totally meant to address it at the front. Betty White. What can you say about Betty White? I love Betty White. I loved her in The Golden Girls. I loved her in The Proposal. I loved her and Ryan Reynolds' banter about how he needs to get over her and move on because she's in love with somebody else. I loved her at the Shatner roast. I loved her on Boston Legal as a crazy old lady. Like, Betty White was she was a treasure. She really was a treasure, and I really expected her to live forever, because we saw all those reports about her health and how she was in great health, and we were going to get to her 100th birthday, and then she suddenly passed. And it was definitely a loss in the entertainment business, because she's literally was working up until she died.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think they're still going to air the special, or I think they're still going to release it. So that'll be cool anyways.
And if you guys out there have an extra couple bucks on Betty's birthday, I know they're doing a huge push to donate towards some animal charities. So I want to encourage everybody to do that as well. I will try to share the links on that day to get everybody going, because animals out there, they need us. They don't always have the greatest people taking care of them, and a buck can help a lot. So I will make sure I share that in Betty's memory, because I think we all love Betty White to some degree on this show.
Yeah, for sure.
Betty White was amazing. I loved her. Like, my most favorite thing of her recently, I guess it wasn't even that recently, but she did a cameo on what was the community the community college show, and she was amazing. And Betty White will be missed. I loved her sass and her attitude, and just everything about her was fun and positive, and it's it sucks, but it was a good run. 99 is a good run. Like that, like, you can't say like she got robbed of any time, and I feel like she made good use of her time. So I'm not sad. I'm sad we won't be getting any more Betty White stuff, but I feel like she had a good run, and she made the most of it. So
I'd be very happy if I make it to 99. So
and accomplish half of what she's accomplished.
I mean, a lot of people are saying like that's a testament to her career and to her life, is the fact that like even at 99 years, it still feels like it's not enough time, just because you were like, you just felt like she'd keep on going. Like, I was personally kind of hoping she'd be with us here at the light at the end of the tunnel with regards to lockdowns and things like that, to kind of pick up our spirits. But at least we got one more special from her coming up, so that'll be good.
And there's a hell of a reunion in the afterlife right now. She's with her husband, and she's having some fun with the other Golden Girls. And I'm sure she's loving every moment of it. But Mike, Max.
Sidney Poitier died also at 94, and I just got to personally for the I'm going to do the obligatory representation moment here. He's the first black guy to win Best Actor, and I will personally love him just because of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. That movie has a real spot in my heart, and it sucks again, but 94 is a good run, and if I can get half as far as he did in half the time, like, that would be great. I'm not shocked that he died, but it does suck, and we're not gonna see anything else from him.
I'm ashamed at my lack of knowledge on Sidney Poitier, so I plan on going back and correcting that. 'Cause I've seen the remake of Who's Coming to Dinner. I've seen Guess Who with Ashton and Bernie Mac.
No, that's not. No.
I will go back.
Might as well just discount that and be like, let me watch the original.
And a big Guess Who is a comedy, obviously, and like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, especially when the movie was made, it's a lot of things, and it's a whole different ball game.
Well, that one, A Patch of Blue, and Lilies of the Field those are like the big. Well, that's the one he won the Oscar for,
right?
But like personally, I love Patch of Blue a lot, because I think we watched that in school at one point, where it's like he falls in love with this woman who is blind, essentially, and like she falls in love with him and so forth, and there's this whole dynamic of she doesn't know what his skin color is and doesn't care, and and he doesn't care either, and it's really sweet in that regard. There's a lot of In the Heat of the Night is a really great kind of thriller. We were quoting it a little bit in the chat when past, but And for me personally, like, I watched this last night, Sneakers, with Robert Redford and Dan Aykroyd, and River Phoenix and President Rosslyn from Battlestar. Like, a lot of people are in that movie, but Sidney Poitier is like an awesome, like, sort of straight man to all of those more eccentric characters in it, and he gets some really good lines as well to shine in there. And storied career. Probably could do without Ghost Dad, which he directed, but but hindsight,
you can't win them all. You can't win them all.
Hindsight's 2020, so
But never stinker do as much as he did. Yeah.
Rest in power, Mr. Poitier.
Sidney Poitier has apologized multiple times for Ghost Dad.
Yeah.
Well, Max, we got an excuse to watch that movie and read the DVD track listings to the audience.
Oh my God, dude, no!
They were trying to tell us. They were trying to tell us something back then with the track names. Like, seriously.
Bill Cosby was laughing at all of us the whole time.
But
No,
Xbox
like,
achievement
seriously,
points.
Justin, you don't understand because you have not read these DVDs. But like,
Fair
if
enough.
you look at the chapter title, if you get the DVD and look at the chapter titles, there's a double entendre in every one of them, and they're all disturbing.
Oh no.
They really is. It's really bad. It's so bad. But Xbox achievements to both. You will be missed by so many, and I'm looking forward to going back and correcting my Sidney Poitier hole that I have in my movie catalog. And I think I'm going to start with Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a great place to start. And like, again, personally for me, like, I watched that movie for the first time at a time in my life where, you know, like, I was trying to date a couple people. Like, where I grew up, there's not a lot of black people, so that whole story of like, hey, you know, like, we in this mixed relationship are going forward, and it doesn't matter like what anyone says. Like, it really heartened me and allowed me to be the person, you know, that I wanted to be, or be the person that I am, and think that was okay. So it's a great place to start. I love that movie.
Rest in peace, Betty White. Rest in peace, Sidney Poitier. Welcome to the show, Jesse. How you doing, man?
Oh,
What's
good.
up?
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's
Fun
been
to
a
know.
minute, man. We haven't talked since you came on and did 16 Candles with us.
Yes, I remember very well. Yes, yes, with Rebecca. Yes, of course.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So Locke Key season 2 is out. Season 3 is filmed.
Yes.
How's the response been for you for season 2? Because I thought it was terrific.
I mean, yeah, it's been incredible, and they were so kind to me, and they gave us some more fun stuff to do in season 2, and I think people really responded to that. I mean, I loved the first season, but I really thought this year they like just took everything up a notch. It was funnier, it was scarier, it's more tragic, it was much sadder, but yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. I'm so blessed, and people really seem to be digging it. So I mean, it's all gravy for me.
We had Halia on recently, and she got the chance to play a more villainous side of her character in season 2. Would you like to take a villainous turn in the show?
Oh my god!
I'd love to see you as a villain.
That'd be so much fun. Yeah, I mean, I will say there was definitely amongst all the cast, including like the leads, there was a lot of jealousy aimed towards Griffin and Halia, because they, had such amazing stuff to sink their teeth into, and they both killed it. They were both so good. Yeah, I mean, I would love to. And listen, it's a show about demons and possession and keys, and there's more mishaps to happen, in season 3. So you never know what's ahead. But I mean, I would think that would be super, super fun. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you the very nerdy question that our friend Nick from Funny Science Fiction asked Halia, and let's see if you have an answer for it. She reached out to Owen Hill, and I do not know what the answer was. So since you go in somebody's head and there's doors usually, can you use the Anywhere key to access the doors and the heads?
That's a great question. I think what the answer probably is, and this is a guess, is if the key's in their head and the door is present, you probably can do it. But if there's no, if they're not currently accessing it, I don't think you can. That's my guess.
Nice. That's a good answer. Good cop-out answer, Jesse.
That's 100% what it is. I don't know, but that would be my guess. That's a really great question, and I don't know the answer to that. Or I should probably give you the real cop-out answer and say, oh, maybe season 3 will have the answer for you. I don't think that's stressed. So
just tweet the writer really quick. Be like, this person wants.
How is the new Omicron affecting filming right now for anything?
That's a great question. I'm not currently working on anything. I shot a film in Winnipeg right before Omicron really hit, just as we were kind of in the middle of shooting. We were like, oh, there's a new variant in South Africa. From what I understand, things are kind of operating as they were during the rest of the pandemic, which is just a lot of testing. But I think because Omicron is just such a different beast in terms of transmissibility, I am hearing about a lot more things shutting down. I mean, my voice is a little rough because I just got over Omicron over Christmas.
Oh man, yeah, Jason just got it too.
Yeah,
I have it.
Yeah, how you feeling?
Like crap. I'm here. I'm here for you, Jesse.
You look
I'm
great.
here to spend time with you.
You look great.
Thanks, man. I've spent
my
my quarantine watching 13 Reasons Why with my daughter.
That's not
Nice uplifting show to watch.
Yeah,
during
no
COVID,
kidding.
right?
That's what I was saying.
I'm surprised at how good it is, like how well written and acted it is, especially the first season. But it's
a really
so
good show.
depressing. It's like one horrible thing after another horrible thing after another horrible thing, and then the horrible things don't stop.
And then it goes the end.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah, the guy killed himself.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I don't want to take away from like well scripted, well acted, well written things. Like I can't do like I don't want to watch something like that's supposed to entertain me to be depressed. Like I don't know why. I don't know why people do. I can't. It's the same reason I can't do horror. Like I don't want to be afraid for the time I'm supposed to be entertained.
Yeah. No, I feel you a bit on that. I can get that way with like depressing movies. I just watched Don't Look Up, which I really liked, but I was like,
I do want to see that.
Yeah, it's great, but I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be watching it again.
Oh man, I watched that on Christmas Eve with my family. Wow, we were all bummed out.
Christmas tomorrow.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard that it's supposed to be a comedy, but it's way too close to reality to really get a lot of laughs out of it.
Oh, sorry, my.
That's what you have to do. You have to watch it right before, like Christmas is supposed to be like the happiest moment of the year, so it's like you watch the super depressing thing just before that so you can build back up from
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. My family, we were all sitting around with COVID and we watched Don't Look Up. It was yeah. It was a fun combo.
Nice. I watched a George Carlin skit yesterday where he's talking about Earth and its survival, and he's like, yeah, the planet's just going to come up with some disease that's going to spread everywhere to wipe out the humans. And I'm like, God, this was recorded 30 years ago, and it's like so accurate.
Yeah, he was on the nose, right? He basically just said, like, Earth will be here. Whether we're here or not is a different question.
But we didn't ask you about your time on Kick-Ass 2, and I want to ask because I like that movie. I like that franchise.
Well, first of all, obviously you didn't blink when you watched it, or you would have missed me. But that was really fun. I had just moved to Toronto, and that was the first thing I had booked. And it was a quick little scene with Aaron Taylor Johnson. I was just going to say Aaron, but we're not on a first name basis, even though he was very kind and nice and cool. But, it was very brief. I was there for a day, but it was just a huge set and, so many different cameras and cranes. I was like, okay, this is like a really big, huge production. I briefly met is another strong word. I briefly ran into Jim Carrey at my costume fitting, which was pretty crazy. It was just a really wonderful experience, but it was super quick for me. Like I was there, we did, a couple takes and, Aaron was really involved in like, how the scene looked, the director was great with him and showing him the footage and stuff. So it was a really cool kind of experience, just a little too brief, but everyone was super kind. And I thought the movie turned out really well. And yeah, that was a blast. What's funny is I'm in that movie for literally 3 seconds. And I get recognized for that movie almost more than anything else I've done because I think I'm the thumbnail on Netflix where I was. Me and Aaron were Aaron again, first name basis, which I barely know the guy, but we were the thumbnail on Netflix for a while.
That's awesome. Well, Netflix likes to promote their own, so
I guess, yeah.
So you were only there for a day. Do you think that's added pressure when you were only there for like a limited period of time? Like, because you no reshoots. Like, I imagine it's probably a little bit more pressure, right? If you're only there for like a brief moment in time for any filming.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is I actually find it's a similar principle, but I find the hardest job as an actor in terms of, the most kind of pressure, the most nervous I get is guest starring on a long running show because they're such a well-oiled machine. And they've been doing it for years. And your job is come here and don't slow us down. Like that's literally all it is. So on Kick-Ass 2, I wasn't as nervous because it was like 2 lines. Yeah. It was pretty basic. But there was like when I got there and saw the set and the scope of it, I got a little nervous.
Yeah.
But then, after one take, I kind of realized like this scene is not about me. It's about, making the stakes of the scene bigger to really like I'm the one who tells Aaron that his dad's been arrested and everyone thinks his dad's kick-ass. So it's like all I'm doing is like spitting out information for him to kind of process and emote. So that felt easy for me. But like a guest appearance on a TV show, especially like kind of a meaty one, to me that's like way scarier. And I felt that a little bit on my first couple of days on Locke Key because I only came in like a month and a half in, so it's not that long. But anyway, they ended up being great, and it all worked out. But yeah, that is a good point. There definitely is a lot of pressure when you're coming into something that's kind of already really going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you've done some writing, some producing. What is it that you enjoy doing the most? Is it being in front of the camera, or is it the writing?
First of all, you're very kind. Those projects were probably added by my buddies. The stuff that we did together. But I do love to do that stuff. So I really love. I think writing is really something that I'm also really drawn to. I mean, people say like, "Oh, you should direct one day," and that just scares the hell out of me. I just don't know anything about the technical side of things. But acting is always the passion. It's always number one. But I definitely have an interest in writing, and I guess producing would be because like crafting projects and like kind of overseeing and developing. Like I think, what people like at Marvel have done, like the whole like oversee, a whole cinematic universe. That's like really appealing to me, of like movies that connect with other movies and cameos and arcs that start in one movie and end in another. And I don't want to spoil the new Spider-Man for anyone who hasn't seen it, but arcs that start in another franchise that get involved in it. Like, that to me is so appealing.
We should have had you. We were just talking about Spider-Man earlier.
We spoiled all of it already.
Consider it spoiled.
I love it, and I wanted to see it 1,000 times, and then theaters in Ontario are closed for Omicron.
Wow.
So, and I'm so upset that I can't go see Scream 5 next week. I can't even.
Jesse, have you seen the Twitter reactions to Scream 5? Like, it's great.
And I wanted to break my phone because I know I can't see it until everyone else in the world has seen it, and the spoilers will be everywhere.
Because I honestly,
Jason would twisting the knife.
I love the franchise. Scream is my favorite horror franchise of all time. But I honestly expected mediocre reactions, not the reactions that we're getting online. And I'm excited because I like these guys, what they've done already in the horror genre. So
yeah, Ready or Not was awesome. I'm really bummed. Like if honestly, because I just had Omicron, I legitimately considered like, should I just drive across the border and see the movie? But I feel like at the border they'd be like, "This is hardly essential travel, sir." Please turn around.
Wear your screen mask. It'd be great.
Florida, no one cares in Florida.
Yeah, so. Get on a plane to Florida.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Is Scream not day and date?
Sorry?
I thought Scream was day and date. Is it not day and date?
No, I think it was only in theaters.
Yeah, it's only in theaters.
I'm kind of curious if a lot of the releases that were supposed to be only in theaters are now going to rethink that with the surge of cases and stuff.
Well, didn't Disney just come out and say they're not going to do any more Marvel like day and date stuff because of how much money they lost with Black Widow? At least.
They haven't done that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But Scream 5. I can't wait. I want it to release on Friday, even if I can't go and see it on Friday. I will find a way to eventually see it, and I will enjoy it. And I swear to God, if I go on Twitter and people are spoiling it, I'm going to be so mad.
Stay off Twitter. Just stay. They're going to spoil it. Stay off Twitter.
Once your 10 days are up, you're allowed to go out, I think, right?
Yeah.
Once you're 10 days from symptom onset.
Actually, no, I don't go out really anyway, but they've changed it in the US to 5 days. Is the mandatory.
I did hear that. Yeah.
Because nobody was doing the 10. So they're like, all right, we'll help the lazy Americans. We'll make it only 5 so we can get out there. And
so you can go to Starbucks and give everyone Omicron. That's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. I mean, like it's funny to me too. Like I don't know. I hate to get kind of political, but it's like they're like not everyone should get a vaccine, but if we go out and just give everyone the virus, and that's totally fine. Like it's okay. Like
it's so weird.
It's so weird.
It's so you have to sort through like what's real, what's not, what's accurate, what's inaccurate. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna get my shot, and I'm gonna read an occasional headline and get the gist of what's going on, and we'll see. But yeah, I mean,
a lot of it's just common sense stuff,
Yeah.
It's like.
So you mentioned you were recently just got done filming something right before Omicron really hit. What do you want to talk about that at all, or what?
Sure. It was a really fun independent film called Vandits. And the funny thing about it is we're basically, the kind of the log line of the movie, which I think I'm allowed to talk about, is we're a group of kind of, misfit criminals that are trying to rob a bingo hall on Christmas Eve. And we operate out of a van.
Yeah.
We're the bandits.
I was like, okay, bandits.
Yeah. And there's another kind of gimmicky twist to it that I won't spoil, but it was a lot of fun. It was a marathon. It was a quick shoot, but I think we got some really, really funny stuff. But the kind of the ironic thing about it is the 2 days before we were supposed to start shooting, all of the lighting equipment and sound equipment was stolen.
Oh.
So we were literally doing a heist movie, and there was a heist of our equipment.
Real live bandits.
And the craziest thing was the filmmakers, Stu Stone and Adam Rodness, who wrote and directed and produced the movie, had made a fake murder documentary the year before. And so no one believed that it was real. They're like, oh, yeah, okay. And they're like, our equipment was stolen. And no one believed it. So, like, luckily we got some other stuff, but they shot the movie with like 4 lights and all this stuff. And yeah, and we ended up getting, I think, some good press out of the whole thing, funnily enough. But, no one believed them. And it was pretty funny.
When does this come out?
I'm not sure yet. I would think maybe the summer or the fall, but it was a lot of fun. It's a wild movie, and it was good. I shot a series in Winnipeg years and years ago, so it was really nice to kind of go back and see a lot of old friends, and kind of felt like going home in a weird sense. But it was cold. It was cold.
So what are your favorite things that you've watched in 2021?
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, I think for I mean,
Besides
I don't know your
Locke
opinions
Key.
on it, but besides Locke and Key,
Locke and Key was amazing.
I think Locke and Key is easily number one. Well, I loved Spiderman No Way Home. I freaking loved it. I adored it. Midnight Mass. That
was great. Yeah, Midnight Mass.
Absolutely loved. I recommended it to everybody. I'm watching my buddy from Locke and Key, Kevin Alves' new show, Yellow Jackets.
I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about that.
It's a great show. It's kind of like a different version of like Lost, Lord of the Flies, with the cool. It's really good. It's dark. It's gritty. It's funny. Is
that on Hulu or
it's on Crave in Canada?
Okay.
Showtime.
Showtime.
Yeah, there you go. It's Showtime. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, and that's a great. I'm sure there's one. You know what? I never watched Squid Games. Everybody was telling me to watch that. I never.
Squid Games is all right. Do you watch like any Asian like?
I have
cinema?
like in the past.
Okay, it's actually not like the farthest off the deep end that I've seen like Korean or Japanese film go. Like if you watch any of it at all, like you're like, oh, okay, well this is just another thing. But it was very well done. So you should check it out. But,
this is the first thing to break through, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" I see.
Yeah.
As a Lost fan, Jesse, have you watched La Brea?
No, but I've heard amazing things about it, and yes, I'm obsessed with Lost.
Yeah.
So okay, I got to check it out. I'll write that down.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, but the winks and nods are a little much after a while to Lost. Like they're
really?
trying like super hard to be.
If it's a lot for Jason's to me, a lot.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
They find a skeleton in a cave.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, Yellow Jackets does a lot of winks to Lost too, but there's this is not a spoiler to say. There's 2 timelines on Yellow Jackets about when they crashed and when they're older. So they do get rescued, or at least some of them do. So it's kind of, Lost did do that a bit later on. But anyway, it's really great. But I'll have to check out La Brea.
I watched Manifest, and that just show that started off really good. It just like spiraled into like I don't know. It went too long with the episodic TV when it needed to go more serialized and. It started to lose me, but I watched the whole thing, and it gets a little bit better at the end of 3, and we'll see what Netflix does with 4. But I really dug that first season. I thought that first season was strong.
Obviously, I saw the promos for it. I think I was, I do love Lost no matter how I think of it, but I think I saw the promos for Manifest, and I was like, I don't know if I have it in me.
Go down the road. Hurt again.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I rewatched Lost actually recently, and I was like, wow, this show would have been so good if it was like 5 13-episode seasons. This show would have been incredible.
Absolutely. The 4, 5, and 6 I thought were really strong because they were short seasons. And season 1 was really good. But it's 2 and 3 that are just like, oh, guys.
Yeah.
Like they even said it. The writer said it. Like the network wanted them to extend the show. That's why they put a hard line when they did 4. Like we're doing
What
this many
season did they leave
episodes.
the island? Because
for the
that's when they
rest.
lost me. What season did they leave the island?
End of 4.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
beginning of 4, end of 3.
Because that's
Yeah,
when
yeah,
they
yeah.
lost me. Because I watched everything. I was like, "This is really a lot of fun." And then, we got off the island. Now we're going back. I was like,
Yeah, now we're
okay,
going back.
I'm done.
Yeah, then we're gonna,
Thank you.
get off and come back again.
That's always fascinated me, the idea of like show orders and the episode count. Just depending on depending on the show too. You could have like an 8 episode arc, and that's perfectly fine for a season. And then you'll have something that's like 13. Like I feel a lot of Netflix shows extend to 13 these days, and then for regular standard television, it's like 22 or something.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
think that's what's kind of cool about the streaming services and like kind of the cable channels and stuff is that I really feel, I mean, obviously there's politics involved in every network and every decision, but that they're more willing to let the story dictate the amount of episodes. It's a little more fluid. I mean, obviously 8, 10, and 13 seem to be the magic numbers on like Netflix or Amazon or those ones. And then, when you get to like, cable, it's like 22, 23. And that's why those, CSIs and all those kind of
Well,
shows
they're procedurals, yeah.
Yeah.
You got a formula that holds so they can crank out like 20 some episodes on that.
Right.
I'm also like, because I was just finishing up a true crime documentary series on Netflix. I'm like, oh, thank God this is only 3 episodes because this is depressing. it was my don't look up moment.
It's crazy. I think 10 episodes is the sweet spot because like I said, I'm watching 13 Reasons Why, and I get to episode 11. I'm like, how many is left in this season? Like, let's just come on, guys, 10. And I love the 10 model. Like we were talking about Cobra Kai earlier. It's 10 episodes. It's quick and it's done. And you're like, I want more. I want more Cobra Kai so bad.
When you look at the Marvel Netflix shows, like they did 13 and it always felt just a little too long. Yeah, like I think 10 episodes would have been the right number on
I
that.
feel like The Witcher flew by too.
The Witcher did. Or is that all done? Or is that
a new season coming? Or
no, it just came out. It
dropped,
just came out. Yeah, it just came out.
I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes in.
I did like in a day. It felt real quick.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I really am liking season 2 of The Witcher. I like that it's actually just we're here now and we're going on, like, because the multiple like timelines and the kind of like episodic randomness of the first season kind of took me out of it a little bit until they got to their main story points and everything kind of meshed up at the end. So I think season 2 benefits from that, where it's like just one story from here and we're moving forward with all the characters. I'm really digging Witcher season 2. I haven't finished it yet.
Netflix still has some of the best shows on TV because I just finished the last season of Ozark and I can't wait for the next season. That show is really good.
They also did Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, and
I didn't see it. I heard it wasn't great.
Yeah. They did Iron Fist.
I heard a lot worse things that I thought of it. Like when I actually watched it,
right.
I thought like, if they're doing like this is Cowboy Bebop, the live act, it's like a different universe of Cowboy Bebop. When you think of it like that, it's actually not terrible. It's fine, there's some good moments in there, and I like some of the stuff they got going on.
It's hard to convert anything that's so beloved into something new.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people not to just trash it.
And then to go from cartoon to live action is always harder. It's always harder because in animation you can do anything.
Yeah,
and to make a person do these things is not easy, and not like you're just not able to do it. But no, it wasn't as bad as I think everyone makes it out to be. Just because obviously it wasn't the cartoon, and people for some reason expected that, and But
back what they wanted, they freaked out. Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't know why you would expect it to be so the same as the cartoon. But I did like some of the things they did. Like I thought it was okay. It wasn't as terrible as everyone's making out.
So I'm working through your IMDb, Jesse, and I see you did some work on Watch Dogs 2. Did you like being a voice actor? Did you like being part of the video game?
Sort of. So my parents are both actors as well.
Okay.
And one of the things that my dad does, I wouldn't even call it a side hustle. It's part of his job. Is he directs cartoons and video games and the voice work on that stuff. So I kind of grew up in that world a little bit. And Watch Dogs 2, I had a blast. It was just a day, but I went and I play. I'm trying to remember the character's name, but it's one of the early kind of mini bosses you face in the game, and it was that kind of classic like nerd rage, screaming Chris Farley like getting pissed at the computer kind of thing. And, they made me a mocap suit, and it was fun. And actually, funnily enough, one of the guys I worked with that day went on to play Aladdin. Yeah, Mina Masood. So that was really fun. I only recognized him like years ago. I was like, God, he looks familiar. And I went on and he was like, all right, I did that day with him on Watchdog 3 years ago. But yeah, that was a blast. My buddy Jonathan Dubsky, I think, was the lead of that. Cool. But yeah, no, it's a really fun game too. But yeah, I love voiceover. I do a cartoon right now. It's for little kids called Binky. And I play like a cat that thinks he's like an astronaut and thinks the bugs in the house are aliens. So that's really fun.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
I gotta feel like being within the anime. Like I love animation personally. If they could animate everything, I would be 100% okay with that. But I have a couple questions. So like if you're doing voice work on a video game, do you get to play the video game beforehand?
No.
Okay.
No. So they'll show you footage sometimes, like this is what it's going to look like, or they'll show you maybe a sample of the gameplay to give you an idea. But a lot of the time, it's so confidential that I can say this now. So my buddy, my old roommate, still very good friend, Alex Wiener, recently the game came out. He played Rocket Raccoon in the Guardians of the Galaxy video game.
Okay.
And the only reason I knew that that's the game he was doing was because I helped him with the audition, and the sides were confidential, but it was so obvious what it was. Like Groot's, like he was a giant piece of broccoli, and all he would say is broccoli is good. Okay, you're on a spaceship. There's a giant broccoli, like, and then we can piece together what the code is.
Veggie Tales.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
those are the alternate sides.
You think it's Guardians of the Galaxy the whole time? It's literally Veggie Tales.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That would be bigger. But for 2 years, like he worked on it.
Yeah,
and he only told his girlfriend, now wife, and me, because we all lived together. And it was really because I guessed it. I was like, this is Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, you're playing Rocket Raccoon, right? And he was like, yeah, okay, all right, that's what it is.
You got me.
But yeah, as far as I know, like he didn't get the game early. He didn't. No, I think they'll send him a copy at some point for free. Sure. But I think the game will have been long out by the time that he gets his hands on.
He didn't get to beta test or anything like that.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah.
He's amazing, and he did a great job in that game. But yeah, it's very confidential and really like secret, like Ubisoft in Montreal. You never know what you're auditioning for. Actually, any video game really. You get the sides, and it's like very. When I say basic, I don't mean bad. I just mean like usually like that was the most obvious one, but usually it's like officer.
Yeah,
and your lines are like freeze, get on the ground, and then they're like, okay, cool, it's the new. Deus Ex Machina, and you're like, oh, crap, okay, which is not a real thing, by the way. I don't know if they're making another one, but for example,
you guys heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Jesse Camacho, the new Deus Ex Machina.
Don't tell Jesse anything.
Elias Koteas will kill me.
I was like, hey, you don't want him mad at you, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is so secretive now. Do you get like nervous at all with all the NDAs you have to sign? Because I know you have some with Locke Key.
You know what's funny? I never signed an NDA for Locke Key.
Really?
Which is crazy.
Awesome. Tell us all about
in the middle.
Well, he has to now, Jason.
I'll tell you, I'm in season 3. I did work on season 3, and it's great. But yeah, that's. I think I signed one in season 1, maybe. But because I'm more of a recurring character, I didn't sign those like multi-season deals like Emilia and Connor and all those guys did. So, I mean, I obviously wouldn't do it, but I don't think they would probably just never write me in the show again. But if I went out and spoiled it, I don't think I'm in breach of anything.
Got Guess
Anyway,
who has in season 4?
I can
How much power do you
see Meredith and Carlton Cuse sweating watching this interview.
Speaking of, as a Lost fan, what's it like working with Carlton Cuse?
It is not a joke to say the man is like a Beatle to me. Like I was going through a bit of a weird like anxiety kind of depression thing before I booked the show. And I had auditioned for the Hulu pilot, which they did, and then it never went. So I went in for the show a year later. I had no idea. I didn't look at the breakdown properly. I just kind of was like, what's this about? Oh, it's for Netflix. Cool, great. I'm not even sure it said Netflix. I think it said streaming service. But I knew it was Locke Key. And I went in, I did the audition, and I felt really good about it. And I was showing my roommate, Alex, Rocket Raccoon, Lost for the first, because he had never watched it. And I was literally sitting like in a t-shirt and boxers, eating ramen noodles, because it was all I could afford. Like being like, well, I'm not in a great headspace right now. And they said, hey, you booked the recurring on Locke and Key. And at the time it was only like guaranteed 2 episodes. Who knows? I was like, all right, I should probably look more into this thing. And that's when I like read the comics and everything. But also I looked at the breakdown. I was like, that does not say Carlton Cuse. That does not say Carlton Cuse. Like there's just no way. And he's just the coolest, nicest guy. I will admit, and I'm kind of ashamed now, I didn't tell him until whenever it was in season 3, my last day, that I was like, don't say anything. He probably hears it all the time. And I interacted with him quite a bit. Meredith was the one who was there more. Meredith Averill, who wrote on like Haunting of Hill House and all that great stuff. She wrote, in my opinion, the best episode of Haunting of Hill House. But he was wonderful. And then the big drag about season 2 and 3 was because of COVID, they didn't get to come around very much. And then Carlton came in to direct an episode, and it was one of the 2 I wasn't in season 2. And I was so bummed, but I saw him when he was prepping and we chatted, and he's incredible. Like I just want to pick that guy's brain. Now I just need to work with Damon Lindelof and I'm all set.
They both have gone on to like major shows. I mean, Carlton has done, he did Nash Bridges before Lost. He did Bates Motel, which was super popular. And now he's doing Lock and Key. So, I mean,
they're bringing Nash Bridges back.
They did. Really? They did it as a movie.
Yes.
He does Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan show.
Yeah. And I think he was. I don't know what it was, but he was going off when we were wrapping up season 3. He had started working on something else as well, and he was commuting back and forth. But I don't know what it. Maybe I don't know if it's not announced yet. I think they've shot it, but it was another series that was shooting in Toronto as well.
Man, that's awesome. Did you have a fanboy moment at all? Like, did you get there?
Every single time I saw him, like, I'd be like, oh my God, that's like, it's a God. And he would make like, little jokes and about Lost, like nothing, obviously, nothing like bad or good about the show, but like he would, like little anecdotes about, like I think in one scene, one of the actors' cell phones went off, and they like pulled it out, like it was like an embarrassing thing, and someone else was like, "You've had a phone this whole time," like that. And what was cool was during season 2, Griffin Gluck and Amelia Jones watched Lost, and I would go. They had never seen it, and I would go hang out with them. And Amelia, who always loved Carlton, was always a big fan of Carlton, started being like, "Oh my God, he created this show that I'm like racing through." And so I know she was not. I mean, she's the lead of the show. She didn't care. She was not afraid to be like, "Oh my God, it's so good." Every time she saw him. So it was really fun watching it with the 2 of them. I got to watch a couple episodes with them.
That's awesome, man. That is all. You're living the life. You are living the life. What is next for Jesse Camacho?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big question. I mean, hopefully continuing to pay my rent. So yeah, nothing like. I'm still doing that cartoon that I do that I'm so blessed to do called Binky. I just did that movie Bandits, and season 3 it's coming out this year. I don't even. I swear to God, I have no inside scoop as to when exactly that's going to be this year. My gut tells me maybe in the second half of the year sometime, but again, they could release it tomorrow, and I would be none the wiser. So yeah, I mean, really, it's just kind of getting past this tiny little bit of Omicron I still got in my system and back to the grind. Probably should shave at some point since I'm
It's
30 years old playing
Unless-
17.
You
So
can do the. It's not too late to start your pandemic beard. Like that's totally fine. Just roll with it.
Or unless
especially in
there's time
Ontario where we're
travel.
like locked down again.
Yeah, and I mean, like, because you guys are all in high school in Locke Key, so like, I think it'd be pretty cool if your character just shows up with this full on like Paul Bunyan beard.
What's funny is like when I first got cast on the show, I was 29. I was like, oh, okay, they're doing this like all the other teen shows. Like everybody's going to be in their mid to late 20s.
Oh no.
Amelia Jones was 17 years old. Griffin Gluck was 19 years old. I think I don't exactly remember how old Patrice and Ash were, and then Leisha in season 2 as Abby, but I'm pretty sure Patrice was a little older. I think he was in his early to mid 20s, and Ash the same thing. But I was far and away the oldest one, and I was just like, I feel like the gross substitute teacher, like hanging out with the kids. But the funny thing is, I'm probably less mature than all of them. So
I know on that 70s show, Mila Kunis was like 15, Ashton was like 21,
14 when
and they were in a
when they started,
relationship on the show. And they had to get like parents' signatures and all this other like legal
you
stuff.
have to have a tutor there, like, because she's technically still got to go to school and stuff. Like when someone that young is on your show, like it's a lot of different hoops you got to jump through.
Well, I think Amelia's first on-screen kiss. God, it's terrible. I'm telling you all our stories, but I mean, it's a movie. Was with Kit Harington when she was 13.
Oh wow.
And he was like 20, I think.
Yeah.
Jon Snow. No, 20, what am I saying? He was like in his mid 20s. I don't think it was like an intense kiss, but she was 13.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean,
man.
We were just talking about this a little bit in the first half. How certain movies or certain shows, like if you have a youthful look to you, and you can, you're older, but you still have a youthful look and you can play young, then absolutely it does create for some, engaging and believable kind of chemistry. We were just talking about Dear Evan Hansen and how that doesn't look because he's not really a youthful looking dude anymore too much.
I haven't seen it. That's a weird thing because, like I feel like they were kind of damned if they did, damned if they didn't. Like if they actually cast a high school kid, people would be like, but he's perfect. Like, He did it on Broadway. He could do it. And then they did it. Like, he looks so old.
His dad,
I'm the same way. I said the same thing. But then I was like, well, if they cast an unknown, I probably would have like, oh, he like worked so hard to create that character. So I don't even know the right thing.
I believe you more than when I do.
Yeah, no, you're definitely not freaking Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man, like 38-year-old dude walking around the high school. Like,
arthritis is kicking up.
They've gotten a lot better at casting because I would have believed you were in your early 20s, but like you go back and watch 90210, you could tell it's a bunch of 40-year-olds.
Oh, dude, yeah, like it's terrible. It's terrible.
Or even Grease, Stockard Channing was like 40 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Jesse, it's always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Happy New Year. Hope to talk to you again when season 3 comes out. And
absolutely.
I still want to get you on here where we can just break down the show Lost together, just two of us.
You let me know, and I will do it with you.
Because I'm the same as you, man. Somebody tells me they just started watching Lost. I will go over and stare at them as they watch it for like an hour.
It's like
it's not creepy at all.
Like, I'm so excited. Wait till you get to seasons 4, 5, and 6, but you got to really slug through some of 2 and 3. But
end of 3 is really good. If you can get to the last like 4 episodes of season 3, you're good.
Yeah, I was glad when they killed Michelle Rodriguez off, but that's another episode and another day.
Spoiler alert for anybody that didn't know.
Right? Like, dang, man. I guess I know better watch Lost now. Thanks, Jason.
Check out Jesse and
part of the
Locke Key
family
season
now.
2 and season 3 coming very, very soon. Jesse, again, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it, man.
Feel better.
It's nice to talk to you occasionally on Facebook. I appreciate you getting back to me. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Sorry for the delay. And hey, feel better, and all you guys stay safe, and we'll hopefully be out of this soon.
Yeah. Same to you. Thanks, Jesse.
But yeah, I'll see you guys soon.
See you, buddy.
Soon.
All right, everybody. I made it an hour and 41 minutes into this show. We don't have any more topics. So I want to thank Jesse again for coming on. Go check out Locke Key season 2. You will not be disappointed. Even if you maybe weren't a huge fan of 1, season 2 is on another level. Check it out. shout outs to everybody. Dan, thank you so much for being on today. Max, Mike, Justin, and
Happy New
have a
Year.
great day. Go to youtube.com/Mike McGTV. Follow us at 3 Geeks Podcast, and more interviews coming soon. And we'll talk to you guys very, very shortly as I talk slowly, as I realize I don't have the credits pulled up. Have a great day.
Recycle your droid.
Nailed it.
I thought that was good. That was actually, I look a little stupid with my.
Recycle your droids.
Recycle your droids so Boba can drink water out of them. Apparently, hydration is important.
Freaking moisture farmers.
Make sure you hydrate, people. It is the most